Greetings, Vault Hunters all across the 6 galaxies. Welcome to the Bordercast, and thank you for joining us at our kinda still new time, Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. I'm Mitsu.
And I'm Tezuka, coming to you every week to break down all things Borderlands.
News, reveals, takedowns. We have an absolutely stacked show to bring you guys, including Mitsu's spoiler-free, more open take on Guardian Takedown, because I did have a chance to play it, and a teeny tiny hotfix to talk about, and our new special guest, Tweety Expert. But before all that, however, we want to take a moment to thank all of our new listeners on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and those watching live right now on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, or later on the VOD for whichever platform you are choosing, especially YouTube. If you're enjoying the program, we would love for you to give us a big ol' like, follow, or favorite so that you can showcase the program to more people. That way our tech overlords can deem us worthy of as such.
Revenge of the Cartels is still going strong, you guys, until June 4th, which is a week away, I think. It's very soon.
Soon.
Very, very soon. Too soon. But one thing that we've recently found out is that anointments from the event will stay in the game. So those tasty, amazing anointments, you're going to stick around, which is so awesome. So awesome. But I don't know about you guys. I'm still hunting for the perfect OPQ. I only have a week. We only have a week, you guys. We got to get on that. Seriously. Also, in other news, Borderlands The Legendary Collection comes out this Friday, May 29th. This Friday. That's so soon. To help us break down all this news, allow me to introduce you guys to today's guest, a rising star in the Borderlands community, Tweety Expert.
Yay!
Hello.
Hi, Tweety.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Thank you
It's a
for
genuine
joining
pleasure.
us.
Yeah, we're so glad to have you on the program.
I'm so excited.
So there's a whole bunch to unpack. But first, I figured, as always, let's talk about this past week in Borderlands. And Tweety, since you're our new special guest, what does your past week look like in Borderlands?
I've been doing a lot of farming, the Revenge of the Cartels.
Mhm.
I've just been loving it. My latest tries to catch are my 100% Sentinel, Chaosin, and Monarch. But I cannot find them, no matter how many times I have farmed them. I cannot do it. They're just
I feel
hiding.
so bad. Being a Zane player is sometimes torture and pain because that 100% Sentinel anoint is so integral to so many builds. You can't
It
get
is
away with
so
that.
sad.
No, it's rough.
I got my OPQ, but not my Chaosin. It's sad
Does that
days.
have the 100% Sentinel on that one?
Yep.
Oh,
It's
all right.
nice.
So you're 1 for 2.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been looking for a yellow cake as well?
I got that.
Okay.
I got 300%.
390.
Yeah,
Very
it's
I
nice.
don't have that one. I have a good one. It works well enough. My one issue with the yellow cake is the range is so specific. Like, it's really easy to be too close or too far, and the line of where you need to be is like razor thin. And I am very bad at judging distances because I also change how I sit all the time, which I don't think is helping me in terms of the actual gameplay. It's helping my back, so what are you gonna do? But yeah, that's really cool. That's really, really cool. What's been like your favorite thing about the cartel event?
It's just that, like, going through doing the actual challenges of the event, it's just the map is so beautiful and the music of it is 10 out of 10 too. It's just like the whole vibe of going through it and all the enemies. It's amazing. All the new enemies, all the new gun. It's just so good.
They've set a really high bar for what the next free seasonal content is based on this one. And I thought Bloody Harvest was really good. I know there's some out there in the community who were kind of miffed about the skulls. I completely understand that, especially when you were leveling newer characters. It was very frustrating, but the incorporation of being able to turn it on and off at will kind of alleviated a lot of those issues. And now it doesn't feel as invasive. So even with turning it off, I've done Molly 1 Takedown. And yeah, it adds that extra level of challenge, but it's not so overwhelming that I'm like, all right, I don't want this on right now. I'd rather have those extra guys in there, extra chances to loot, extra chances to get experience.
The craziest for me has been the Scrap Trap boss fight with the cartel event on.
Oh man, I can't even imagine.
It's ridiculous. My chat, okay, so the first time that I did it, they basically tricked me into it. They were like, oh, you want an easy farm? Go here, do this. Guys, if you stream, just be, trust your chat, but take everything they say with a grain of salt. Be mentally and physically and emotionally prepared for what your chat may choose to put you through. Basically, I went in there and it was like going into the craziest rave party I have ever imagined or dreamed or was possible. It was just lights everywhere all the time. And there were so many enemies because I think for every single little tiny baby scrap trap, a beacon can spawn. So beacons kept spawning over and over and over again.
Just constant beacons everywhere.
The drops were good, but it was madness. It was madness.
What kind of enemies get summoned from that beacon? Are they like cartel claptraps, or is it just
No, it's just the cartel enemies. Yeah. So like some of the cartel bosses, like Fish Slap will show up sometimes. Josie will show up sometimes. The Roaster. Various bosses, and then just like regular cartel thugs, but lots of them.
You just end up with a whole pack of those enemies and the claptraps coming at you.
Yes, it's insane. It's insane. I don't know how I survived. I thought I was gonna like fail. I actually, I think I had Healy Avenger on, and a Healy Avenger completely healed back up the main scrap trap boss, and I almost cried. Yeah, it was bad. I had him down to like a third, maybe a quarter of his health, and he went all the way back up, and I was like, no!
So close.
All that work was for nothing. I had the pleasure of kind of taking a little tour of the Borderlands community on Friday, both Friday morning and very late in Friday evening. And Friday morning, I ran into a really cool up and coming streamer named Darkest Dame, who has a very she's
amazing.
Nice. Yes. I think that was based on Darkest Dungeon that she really liked going into it. But she listening to her story, because I asked her a couple of questions about that. She's very chill. She explains things very succinctly. She reminded me a lot of myself, like way back in the day. And she had just like this positive demeanor about her. She was really fun to get to know and talk to for a little while.
One of my community members mentioned the name when I was asking about like people to check out, but I didn't know. I haven't had a chance to actually check her out. Yeah, I'm glad you did. That's cool.
Yeah, she's real cool.
She seems really nice. And the other one that I had the pleasure of getting to really know was a gentleman, Psychotic Wolf, who was streaming very late into the morning hours. I believe he is PST time.
He has some crazy builds, man.
Yeah.
Man.
He was telling me about one. He wanted to do a grease trap kind of build, I believe, where we all greased up something and then they wanted me to light it on fire and just explode it. I was like, all right, cool. Yeah. It was like a really cool cooperative build that he wanted to try out. We did it. We messed around for a while. And he sent me his community.
He's really good at theory crafting. Insane.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, I would recommend checking them both out if you are listening out there or you want to know who they are. It's Darkest_Dame on Twitch, and it is Psychotic_Wolf on Twitch. Both of them were really kind, and I think that you guys will enjoy watching them as well. But enough about that. We have an amazing streamer in her own right here, Tweety Expert.
It's me again.
Tell us more about you. Who is Tweety Expert?
I just think of myself as a very goofy person and just playing games to have fun, trying to just build a community that also likes to have fun and just likes to be goofy with each other. That's pretty much what it's all about in my channel.
That's awesome. How did you come up with your stream name?
Well, first, everyone goes through a phase like, what should I be called? And then you go around, bounce around a bunch of different names. I think I ended up with Tweety at one point. And then I was playing Call of Duty because it was back in the day where I just played a lot of Call of Duty, and somebody else on the other team was named Tweety. And I'm like, I can't have that. There can't be two of us on the same. What? So, and then I started killing them. So I'm like, of course, someone told me you should just put an expert after your name, and you're Tweety Expert because you were killing them. So you're the expert over them.
Nice.
Superior Tweety.
Yep.
Definitely. That's awesome. So how did you end up getting into Borderlands? Like what first attracted you to the franchise? Which game did you start with?
So when I first started streaming, it's been about almost 3 years now since I started streaming. I didn't know what to play at first, but I knew I loved the Telltale collection, like all the Telltale games. So there was like a humble bundle of all of them that I bought. And I ended up going through all of them. and ending up on Tales of the Borderlands. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know any of the background story. So the game was really confusing because I'm like, what is a gun company? Hyperion? I had no clue. But I finished that game, but I'm like, those shiny lasers that go up into the sky, I'm like, I want them. Like, so then I saw Borderlands 2 was on sale. And I'm like, I'm going to buy it, pick it up. And then it just was love at first sight. It was amazing. Just coming from Tales is so different, but still had the same vibe. It was good.
Yeah, Tales is like a hidden gem. It's one of my favorite games. It's definitely one of my favorite Borderlands games. Borderlands 2 was the first one I played, so like the first one you play is always your first love.
Oh yeah,
it just is. But Tales is just it's like a deep dive into story, and it's a whole new story, and it's just so well done. Those games are so well done. That's really cool.
I still haven't replayed it since I now know all the story behind it.
You
so
should.
I need to fully replay it. I've seen a couple people play it, but
you should totally do that. I would love to see that. I actually replayed it. I think I replayed it. When did I replay it? I replayed it before Borderlands 3 came out. I think it was like maybe a month before Borderlands 3 came out, and I hadn't played it in forever. But of course, at that point, I definitely had a better understanding of the story in the second playthrough than when I originally played it. Because I hadn't played 1 or the pre-sequel when I played it the first time. And so it was like a whole different experience. So I want to see you do that. That'd be really cool.
I still need to play pre-sequel too. I'm behind. I'm so behind. I'm just getting so wrapped up in Borderlands 2. Then Borderlands 3 came out. I'm like, gotta go there. But then it's hard to go back because I'm like, I'm having such a fun time here. I'm so conflicted.
You seem like you're a really big fan of lore, so I think you'll get a lot out of the pre-sequel.
Yeah, I think it'd be good. I still need to try the Claptrastic DLC. Still haven't tried that. And I've heard so much about that being like one of the best, if not the best DLC. So
I haven't actually played that particular DLC yet. I know it's like a travesty. It wasn't out when I played the pre-sequel, and then I never got to it when I replayed the pre-sequel because I got distracted. But Borderlands 3, so
exactly.
That is super cool. Definitely worth playing.
And what's nice is you can always play it on the Switch when it comes out May
29th.
True.
Yep.
Friday. 3 days, you guys. 3 days.
So
and
soon.
You can hold Borderlands in the palm of your hand. It's incredible.
Literally.
On the go.
Yeah. And it's not on the Vita. It's on the Switch.
Yeah.
Everybody forgets that it was on the Vita. I remember Borderlands history, kids. So, yeah. You've been around for a while, about 3 years, you said. Have you had a chance to participate in any events, like either online, or have you been to conventions in person?
Yeah, so I started playing, like, the first time I actually picked up Borderlands 2 was about September. So when Borderlands 3 came out, I played Borderlands at that point for 2 years straight and picked up probably about 2.5K hours in that 2-year time frame. So I put a lot of hours in the short time frame that I actually had. But during that time, I did the hunt twice. And that was like the first time I did the hunt. I had probably no idea what 80% of the weapons I got was. Chat was just leading around telling me, you get the weapon from here. So I was like, I'll just shoot that guy. And even though the hunt ended, it still took me probably another like months to get all the rest of the whole entire list of the items. Like I did all the cobra farming, all the other things. It was the time. All the tubby farming. Oh, just think of the hunt, and my mind just flashbacks to tubby farming constantly.
There were people who were able to do it in the span of a week. How?
I don't get it. I don't understand. The second time I did the hunt, I only needed to add like an extra week to finish it all. But then again, that was just with good luck too. But the hunt was kind of my first, like, this is really cool. There's so many things I did not know, even though I did only like 2 playthroughs at that point. It was crazy.
It's unbelievable.
I've gone to conventions, done like Guardian Con was amazing last year. I've gone to 2 Twitch cons now. So
you were at Guardian Con last year?
Did
I see you and just don't remember things? I have a bad memory.
Yeah, I saw you.
Do we actually like?
Yeah, we did.
I'm so mad right now. I have the worst memory in history.
Oh, I do too. It's
Memory
fine.
of a fish. I think it's a streamer thing.
I think so.
Oh my god.
I wouldn't doubt it.
It might be. I apologize, Waddle Doo.
Oh no, it's fine.
Goodness. Yeah.
I think we're by like the Borderlands 3 booth. I think, but you were doing a whole bunch of things too. So I think we were all just running around doing whatever.
Was there a microphone in my hands?
I think so, probably.
Okay. Yeah. I'm on a different level whenever I'm holding a microphone. That's me just running around trying to make sure everything's going right.
You got stuff to do.
Yeah. See, and people still have your business card and all stuff like that. People being professional with you, and I'm just like,
what?
Hey. Cool. All right.
I'm hoping next year we get to meet up again.
Yeah, man. I still haven't been to Guardian Con.
Oh, it's so good.
Every time I try to go, something happens. And then I'm like, okay, I can't go this year because last year didn't work out. And this year is crazy too. It probably won't work out. And so then I don't go. And then the next year I'm like, okay, I'm going. And something happens. And I'm just like, someday I will make it. Someday I will make it there. And I'll give everybody giant hugs. They'll hopefully be okay.
It's so great
at that point.
GCX 2021. That's what we're looking forward to.
Oh yeah, lots of hugs.
Yes.
Very cool. So at conventions, you get to meet a lot of people, meet a lot of streamers. Did you meet anybody that influenced you, and who influenced you streaming? Like who were you inspired by? Who first kind of introduced you to Twitch?
It was kind of like, so when I started Twitch, like actually streaming, I watched a lot of people beforehand, kind of figuring out like their style and whatnot. Like I watched Eddie Monster a long time ago as well. So I'm like when I was probably 5 years ago at that point, and then I saw his name again. I'm like, I remember him. And then I met him in real person. I'm like, wait, this is mind blowing. I'm so confused. But and then like Broman and all these people that like just have taught me so much about streaming, and like Twitch as a platform and what to do has just been insane. Just like meeting them and talking to them. And
then you find out they're real human beings.
I know. They're real people too. Who would have thunk?
Oh my god, they put their pants on one leg at a time?
They have legs? What is this? Streamers have legs.
Whoa!
No.
Oh, forgot about that. Yeah. One thing that's a really special cause. It's near and dear to my heart. It's something my father really loved. You got to do a charity drive for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital very recently. And I would love to hear more about how that went. First of all, how did you get involved with St. Jude? What kind of brought you to their door, if you will?
So all the hunts usually have St. Jude kind of attached to it, and it's like kind of the driving force behind what we're raising money for. And since we didn't really have a hunt this year, I'm like, I still want to participate in raising money for St. Jude. So I was like, I'll put one on my own, and we'll see what happens. Like, communities are crazy because you don't really know the power that they hold, because they could just, and then you add the power of the Borderlands community as well, which I thought were like, oh, we'll come together. I'll do 2 different streams on Saturday and Sunday. This is 2 weeks ago, and 12 hours each day. So it'll be 24 hours over the course of the weekend. I'm like, maybe in those 2 days, we'll raise about $3,000. And that's what I put incentives for. And I had like stretch goals to 10K. And I'm like, that is just, I don't know. But here we are. And in the first, I think, 2 hours of the first day, we already hit 3K. And the first day in total, we hit 10,000 in the first day, first 12 hours.
Awesome.
And then overall, we hit 14.5K in total.
Wow. That's fantastic.
In 2 days. It was absolutely crazy. I was just going along with the ride. I was doing like, people could donate to make me full on dance and sing. I was sore by the end of the weekend because I danced so hard and sung my lungs out. My voice was gone. It's just, I put my heart and soul into that, and the community I was blown away by what they could do by just my community and the Borderlands community coming together. It was absolutely incredible, and for an amazing cause nonetheless.
Yeah, definitely.
They don't mess around.
St. Jude's is amazing. They never, ever charge families for anything whatsoever. They just want families to focus on getting their child well. They share all of the research that they do. They're located in North America, but they share completely for free, completely as soon as they have access to it. They share all of their research, all of their findings with every scientist that wants it all over the world. So they're trying to completely eliminate childhood cancer. And I think the rates of childhood cancers have gone down about 80% since they've been doing what they do. And it's incredible. It's absolutely
96?
96%.
Wow.
I believe. I want to say
my numbers are old. Wow.
Yeah. So every now and again, I have the pleasure of being able to go there, so we get primers on the kind of information. I want to say it's either 96 or 97%. They've managed to almost completely eradicate. I want to say
incredible. That's so awesome.
Leukemia. I might be wrong on the type of cancer, but I know that that's a real number when it comes to a specific form of cancer that they originally focused on. Because originally they focused on one or two different types of pediatric cancers, and as the mission grew and as they were able to expand their facilities, they were able to incorporate more forms of cancer that they wanted to be able to completely eradicate. The facility is amazing. They have a particle accelerator in the basement. That is a real thing that exists and is one of the coolest facts I ever get to share about
science is awesome.
Yes,
that's so cool.
Because science, yes, and everything about it, like Tess said before, completely free. If you go to St. Jude, you will never have to worry about any bills for your child's treatment at all. And there are other nice things that they have. If it's going to be medium to long-term care, they have facilities that the parents and children can stay at, like brothers and sisters can stay at, completely free of charge. And I believe there's even a grocery stipend for being there. So they take care of everything.
It's amazing.
The only thing you have to worry about is making sure that your child gets better from a disease that can go to heck.
Oh, yeah.
It's the only thing you ever have to worry about. So I personally love St. Jude. I imagine, Tweety, you also feel the same.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And Tess, you seem to be nodding your
I've raised money for them.
Yeah.
I don't even know how many times over the last 6 years of streaming. So absolutely. They're amazing organization. So more power to you. That's fantastic. More power to the communities that make it possible for us to play video games and raise money for sick kids. Like, how ridiculously lucky are we?
Yeah, the entire like if we looked at St. Jude Play Live, like their bracket of stuff, they've raised now, I don't know if I think it's this past year or month, but it's like they just hit 2.4 and they just hit 2 million like last week, and they just hit 2.4 probably yesterday.
Wow.
Absolutely crazy.
Wow.
It's next level. It's just incredible what they've managed to accomplish. I'm so proud of everybody involved. The GCX marathon coming up next month. I can't wait to see what that looks like.
Oh yeah.
This last year was insane. And the people who participate both on the Mixer and the Twitch side are absolutely rabid about doing one thing, and that's raising money for a great cause. With that being said, there was a hotfix this past week, as there tends to be. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about that little patch in our wonderful segment that we like to call Hotfixes Applied. There was a hotfix last Thursday, as there tends to be, which was released live on all platforms at the usual time of 12 p.m. PST. It changed a couple things around. It wasn't a very large one, but it did bring to an end an event that a lot of us utilized, which was the Loot the Universe mini event, which ended on May 21st at 9 a.m. Pacific time. There will not be another, unfortunately, until the June 4th patch, which will be something we'll be talking about 2 shows from now, if my math serves me correctly in my head. And the only things that were really changed this time around were very easy. It was they changed rare spawns in Guns, Love, and Tentacles campaign to add on an always spawn feature, something the community had been screaming for. Yes.
So good.
Very
so
happy with that.
good.
Yes.
Very, very awesome change. Across the board, everywhere I've looked, in the Discords, in Reddit, in like all the forums that I follow, just Twitter, everywhere, everybody's really, really happy with that. Good change.
That's a fantastic change. And the other minor change was addressed a reported concern that dedicated drops for Wotan were not dropping in Mayhem 4. So if that was your Mayhem level of choice, you don't have to worry about not getting stuff from Wotan anymore should you be doing a Molly 1 takedown. Nice and easy.
Yeah.
Easy peasy. They're good. Still good. Going in the right direction.
Yes, I don't think we're going to get anything else until June 4th. Maybe we'll get 1 or 2 minor fixes. Mm-hmm. But June 4th, I believe, according to community manager Noelle, she said that phase 1 of the blog post, which we talked about on last week's show, I believe that's episode 5, that is something that you can check out if you want to learn more about that blog post. So that was how that works. Anyway, with that being said, there was also a Borderlands show last week.
Yes.
And
very cool
yes.
Yeah. So I had the pleasure of being able to sit down and talk with Matt Cox as well as Greg and Fran, as I always do. And we got to listen to him talk extensively about the new DLC coming out very soon titled Bounty of Blood, A Fistful of Redemption, as well as being able to play the Guardian Takedown, which that was super cool. And I can't talk about it very much, but I will say going forward,
looks great.
It's going to be so much fun.
I'm excited.
But we thought we'd kind of do something a little bit different this time. And we're going to actually play a supercut that we have of the video so that you guys can kind of see and hear in their own words, and some of mine, exactly what this is all about. And we're going to break in every now and again and share our thoughts with it. So without further ado, and I encourage my co-hosts this day to feel free to chime in whenever they want to, and I'll, of course, stop the video, to add whatever thoughts that they have with everything, because it's really cool. All right. Awesome. So without further ado, here you guys go. Enjoy this supercut of the Borderlands show.
That's right, everybody. It's a brand new episode. So remember, of course, you need to go subscribe. Twitch.tv/Borderlands, YouTube.com/Borderlands game. And the show doesn't happen without you. So get your questions and comments in at kindafunny.com/Borderlands. All right, guys, it's time to talk about what we've been playing in Borderlands 3. And I think, obviously, the lead story is Revenge of the Cartels. It's still going on. June 4th, however, is when it ends. That's coming up soon. That's going to be an important...
Yeah, I am... It gone too soon.
It was so good while it lasted, though. It was as much as like it could stay. Like having it be an event like this is really nice, though.
Yeah. I mean, I think
something to look forward to.
Exactly. Yeah. It makes each event more special, and like I totally get everybody's clamoring to keep these events in, and like I don't know, maybe they could do that like sometime down the road once we're done with DLCs and new things, maybe. But I feel like it absolutely makes every new event more special. We're so excited about the next thing. As much as we're gonna miss Revenge of the Cartels, there's Guardian Takedown coming, and then I'm sure many more things after that. Like they're constantly dropping new stuff on us, so like we're never at a loss for fun things to do, and that's a wonderful thing.
Mm-hmm. My leading theory right now, and this is just a theory, I do not know, I'm not privy to any advanced knowledge, is that if there are no DLCs beyond DLC 4, that they'll kind of start, and this is what I'd like to see happen if that's the case, they'll start folding everything in so that next year in the area of around Halloween, when we get Bloody Harvest again, once we have that event, it stays with us and then stays with us permanently. So then when Revenge of the Cartels comes in around the spring, it stays with us. Or the Valentine's Day event, it stays with us. So we get to have that one more time of, oh, okay, this is what this event was for, and now we're just going to keep it after it's released like that. Yeah, I think that's.
I'd be down with that.
Do it. Yeah, unless there is more content planned, and again, I don't know. Would I like to see that? Absolutely. But that's my leading theory about it. Cool.
That'd be cool.
Important date. But I'll talk about that in a second, because the other part of this whole thing of what we've been playing since the last Borderlands show is also Mayhem 2.0 has dropped.
Old Mayhem is gone, and now in menu, you don't have to go back to Sanctuary. You literally just apply your new level. It'll reload the latest checkpoint. That alone I love. I love to be able to, in real time, pretty much, be able to adjust the level that I'm playing at.
It feels in a great place, and I Yeah,
it's so nice. I've said this before, and it's like the biggest quality of life thing. You feel like a change, you just leaf through and change it. You don't have to go back to Sanctuary. Yeah. You don't have to do anything. You get one load screen when you apply. You can re-roll your modifiers a gazillion times. You only have to hit apply once. It's awesome.
And then you don't even have to, like, you leave the game and you come back and it's the same modifiers. That's amazing. It's kept on your profile instead of like in that stance or whatever it is. Yeah. It's so much better.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm still shocked though. A few people don't actually know that when you open up your inventory menu and everything, where you can select what mayhem level it is. If you don't like your modifiers, you can press the corresponding button that you'll see in the lower right. For people on PC using a keyboard, it's Q. That's the reason I'm a little non-specific about what it could be, because controller can be different. And then you will re-roll your modifiers, and you can just keep re-rolling until you get the ones that you like. I, in particular, love big kick energy. So I try to focus on making sure that that is at least in there when I go live.
Do you have a favorite, Tweety? Like a favorite modifier?
Oh, what is the... I like Healy Avenger because they're just something you just like, it's there and you can get rid of it quickly. It's that something like you constantly like, oh, I can't go into this puddle. Like the pool party, forget that thing. I hate it.
I like that one.
I can't do it.
Well, I think the reason that I like it is because a lot of them tend to be shock, and I rock a transformer on my Amara, so like, and I'm putting shock damage on myself anyway, so it's really effective and rocking my shields right back up for me whenever I need them, so it's kind of beneficial.
My Zane doesn't like it. I burn, and then all of a sudden I just get stuck in this one spot where there's enemies crowding around me, and then I'm stuck in a puddle, and I'm trapped.
Oh no.
Oh boy. Love the modifiers. No more bullet reflection. Thank God.
There have been some issues with Mayhem 2.0, and that's why Gearbox sent along this message.
Hey everyone, it's Graham with the Borderlands 3 live team. Before we talk about Mayhem, I first want to say thank you to our entire community for all of the help and all the feedback you've given us these last few weeks as you've started to experiment with Mayhem. So thank you so much for all of your help. So in case you missed it, last week on Borderlands.com, we posted a blog that went over some of the changes that we'd like to make with Mayhem. Today I'd like to review some of those highlights with everyone and make sure everyone's up to speed. So phase 1 of these changes comes with the Guardian Takedown. In it, we're focusing on Mayhem stat scaling changes and some gear adjustments. So in Mayhem's level 7 and higher, you're going to see the health, shield, and armor stats for the highest levels of Mayhem pulled down. At that same time, we're going to take a look at some over and underperforming gear and make some adjustments there as well. Also, you'll start seeing Mayhem level identifiers on the item cards for all your Mayhem level weapons.
Yay!
Oh, was that changed?
Yes.
Requested.
Yes.
Requested.
Like immediately, yeah. First thing that was asked, literally the very, very, very first thing. And it's so huge that they immediately, as soon as they possibly could, put that in. And I'm sure it wasn't that simple to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's really
I feel like people think it's more simple to do it. You're just like, oh, just put that number there. But I think there's so much more behind the scenes that you have to do, and people don't really think of that. They're like, oh, just easy, put it there. It's fine.
Just develop all of these assets and put it in 5 seconds. Forehead, so easy. On a slightly personal note, Graham is an amazing human being, and I'm really glad that he's a lead in this game. It's always been a pleasure to talk to him and learn from him whenever he's talking about the game. So I'm glad that he actually put this out and is talking with us about all of these cool, exciting changes with the game.
Keeping us up to date. It's like this like forum was just like the clouds is open and like I see where we need to go and it looks amazing. We're almost there. Exactly.
Phase 2 comes with DLC 3, and in it we're going to focus on character build diversity. The big change is non-weapon sources of damage will start scaling relative to the Mayhem level you're in. So action skill damage, melee, slide, slam, they're all going to start scaling relative to that level. Also, grenade mods will start dropping as Mayhem gear, just like Mayhem weapons. And finally, all sources of loot in the game will start dropping Mayhem level gear. So those are just a few of the changes that we've got in store. If you want more information, head to Borderlands.com and read the rest of the post. And again, thank you so much for your feedback and keep it coming.
Okay, so that's what we've been playing at home, guys, but we actually just got our first look at the new Takedown. Are you ready to talk about it?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
The next takedown is officially Takedown at the Guardian Breach. We've all been playing it. Mitsu, I'm going straight to you.
So it's nice to see that they are not resting on their laurels. This is completely different from what we experienced in Maliwan Takedown in the best ways possible, because the Guardians have been lying dormant for a long time. I want to see why they have suddenly burst forth onto the scene.
Well, like you're talking about, this is still Borderlands, but it's taking it in a different direction. It's adding something new. It's also giving us this mystery of what's happening.
It's free content as well, right? And it comes out June 4th. Did we say that yet?
We didn't yet. You just announced the release date, Graham. June 4th, everybody. That is the real release date for Takedown at the Guardian Breach. Again, it coincides with the end of Revenge of the Cartels.
I wish it was
real
already,
release date, June
but
4th.
Jump the gun on that one. A little excited. But
no, it's the Borderlands show. We're hanging out. We're having fun.
I
And
feel
it is
patience a lot.
So, yeah. I mean, having played it, and obviously I can't talk in depth about literally anything, I can say that there are a lot of new concepts that will be thrown at players. They're very interesting. This will challenge you in ways that Borderlands, I don't feel, has ever challenged anybody before. And that's good. They're not, and I think I use the term resting on their laurels. It's not something that they're doing. They're innovating, they are developing, they are challenging players, and they seem to be setting the groundwork for what's to come in the future. It feels very iterative and experimenting. I'm not sure if there's a proper word for that, but you get what I'm trying to say. The point is they are definitely stepping outside of established comfort zones, and I really like the results of that. And I hope that everybody who gets to play it, when you get to play it, will also enjoy that.
Just from the art style of it, like you see the whole like space around it, it's absolutely amazing. Like just even the setting of where it is and the enemies and how they look. I am just ready, even just to look at them. Like, I'll just be in photo mode, just looking around all day. Like, that's where I'll probably be there for a while, really.
I need to spend some time in photo mode, actually. There's been, I never, like, I always, while I'm streaming, will tend to, like, stop and find something beautiful to look at. Trash pile, beautiful flower, either or, because everything in this game is gorgeous. I won't let myself live that down. But basically, there are so many beautiful, beautiful, beautiful screen grabs you can get. I hesitate to do it on stream because people want to see that action, but I need to like just take the time to do it at some point and then share them with people because they're amazing wallpaper and they're amazing just imagery. It's so cool.
Like the details are just so amazing. Like like when the game first came out, I was just looking at all the details. I think I spent 2 hours just running around Sanctuary, like just looking at every corner best I could just to see all those details. And like every place you look, you would see another thing. And like how big these worlds are, there's just you still, I'm sure there's a bunch of things we still haven't found even collectively as a community because it's just so much everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to talk about that a little bit later with Matt Cox's big reveal that apparently was a shock to everybody in the mailbag, but we'll get there because there was a lot.
Is fierce, and I was just going to say, remember that takedowns are really more intended to be ideally, I think, co-op, right? Man, it's tough, but it's cool that they're doing things like you have puzzles now where people will have to split off and take care of one thing while you're doing other stuff. And
it's a takedown. There's an invincible at the end.
So I have a question about this, and I know it's been asked throughout the community. I've seen it in Discord. I've seen it in chats and stuff. You can still solo it, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you can still solo it, even though it's really built for a group. That's really cool and also important.
Again, without spoiling anything, I was able to solo all of the way to the boss.
Oh.
I did so utilizing Zane shenanigans, which I will not specify. But
I like what I'm hearing.
On another character, it would have been far more difficult. And that's all I can really say about that.
I like it.
Yeah. I think the hashtag Zane Gang is going to be
I mean, I have a Zane, but he's like level 12.
I don't really have a Zane.
I'm not saying it would be impossible. It would not be. It would require a little bit more precision and thought. But if you put the time into it and understood what was going on around you, you will feel rewarded when you nail down what they're throwing at you. That's all I can really say about that. But
I like it.
Okay.
Short answer again, it is soloable.
Cool.
In Borderlands 2 was killing Invincibles. So of course I'm going to be out there and doing it. And I think a lot of players will as well.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can find out for yourself what you think of Takedown at the Guardian Breach on June 4th. Again, the same day Revenge of the Cartels ends. You can get in there and get into the new Takedown. Let folks know what you want. You can be sad about one, happy about the other. Are you excited about DLC 3? I am. What do I know about DLC 3? Literally next to nothing. I have to keep calling it DLC
I love
3,
Greg so
which
much.
I really don't like. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, from Borderlands 3, he is the game director on DLC 3. It's Matt Cox.
Hey, everybody.
Yay. Hey, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm honestly incredibly excited for our entire team finally get DLC 3 out so people can enjoy it.
Does it have a name?
Why not? Sure. Yes, it does have a name. DLC 3 is Bounty of Blood, A Fistful of Redemption. Bounty of Blood, it's a harsh story of revenge and redemption. I mean, put simply, the Vault Hunter arrives on the brutal frontier planet of Gehenna in hopes of collecting the sheriff's bounty on the Devil Riders. Now, the Devil Riders are a violent gang of beast-riding mercenaries, and you're going to team up with tough-as-hell locals to protect and help the town of Vestige. And help Vestige get back on their feet. And then you take the fight straight to the Devil Riders using new gameplay objects that we have in the DLC and the added Jet Beast vehicle in a gritty tale told by an unseen narrator.
Jet Beasts.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh my gosh. I am beyond excited for those. When I first saw what the whole kind of DLC was about, like, let me ride an animal, please. And then they're going to combine it with it being a hovercraft as well.
Yeah.
My heart melted when I heard that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excited.
I mean, they like rewrote the cool book with this vehicle. Honestly, they really did. I mean, I honestly, I can't think of anything that would have been better as a vehicle in Borderlands or in another game. It's so freaking awesome and fun. And it's just so quintessentially Borderlands because it's absurd and wonderful. And I love it. I absolutely love it.
They are incredible. The visual, for those of you listening at home, is they look like, for those of you Star Wars fans, it's probably going to be easiest to explain, but they're kind of like motorcycles, no wheels. So they're also, I guess, kind of like hover bikes, if you will. And they have dinosaur parts. I believe there's a dinosaur part in the face and like a Saurian, if we could go back to Borderlands real quick. And they look like speeders. Like speeders from Star Wars. So that's how it all kind of ties together. So they've got a couple influences, but they've got like the rough and tumble motorcycle influence too. Like it's your Harley, but it's also a cyborg dinosaur, I guess.
It's so cool.
Just hold on. Just think about that word for a second. Cyborg dinosaur.
Yes. They managed to fake cyborg dinosaurs in this.
Amazing.
Yes.
I
Incredible.
wonder how Maurice is going to feel about this.
Oh.
It would be interesting to see him try to ride one.
These were not involved in the shattering of the time egg. Yeah, a little Turok-y too, I guess you could say. Somebody in chat, Cyrus82, is mentioning Turok. I can see a couple influences from that. Yeah. So.
I'm hearing for sure, right? New planet and new town and new enemies.
Yeah, we wanted to try several new things for a DLC. Like DLCs are a perfect place for us to kind of push things in different directions and small different directions for the Borderlands universe. So we definitely have a good handful of that for this DLC.
I like that you guys are finally like straying away a little bit from the beaten path.
Yeah, one of the things that excites me the most is being able to introduce a completely new cast of characters to the Borderlands universe. So outside of the BO3 Vault Hunters themselves, Bounty of Blood has an entirely new cast of characters. So again, we really wanted to try something new, and these characters are all toughened up by having to survive on this brutal frontier planet.
The one thing you talked about at the top that we haven't gotten back to that I want to know more about is how does this narrator work? The narrator is not the same as the person I assume singing about me changing everything.
The narrator is essentially a new character. The narrator, he'll be alongside you during the entire DLC. So main missions, side missions, providing commentary, story, and maybe the occasional conversation to the player.
There's, again, a lot to unpack.
I could imagine Zane having a drunken conversation with himself and not realizing it's actually the narrator he's talking to.
That would be fantastic.
That'd be amazing.
Actually, I want to see this happen.
Yeah.
Borderlands, please.
Please, can you add?
Well, if the narrator goes over really well, we could see the narrator show up again in the future, and maybe that idea winds up happening. I don't know.
I like the idea of the narrator just kind of keeping us, pushing us along in the story, adding some tidbits that maybe you don't even see. And like, I like the feel of it, of where it's going. And Borderlands does DLCs very, very well, as we've already can tell about what they've done. So I'm very excited.
I'm insulted, Fran and Mitsu, that he talks about jet beasts, and Fran's like, new planet. That's what. Tell me about a jet beast.
there.
Every Western needs its horse. For the Vault Hunter, it's a jet beast, which is half jet bike and half creature that can rain serious destruction on the frontier with a dual machine gun, or you can get a mortar weapon. But
the mortars
really
are really
adds
mortars.
a fresh, different dynamic to being on a mount, like combat on a mount.
Talk to me a little bit more specifically about the new characters that are going to be in Bounty of Blood.
Well, the two main characters that anchor the DLC are Juno and Rose. Juno is this rough and tumble brawler with a very checkered past, but she's reformed her way. Then you have Rose, who is the first character that we meet in the DLC. She is our guide, she is our ally, and she helps us learn the lay of the land and helps us fight and find our way.
She's so fun to cosplay.
Oh man,
so
I've
fun.
already seen some.
Yeah,
and
I've seen some makeup
amazing.
trials. Yeah. Oh my
yeah.
God. It's going to be hard, but so cool. Like, I think the overwhelming kind of cosplayer sentiment about Borderlands cosplay, and I've only done the one for Maya, but I loved it so much. But every single cosplayer I've talked to was like, this is some of the hardest cosplaying. Like, if you really, really want to do it up, there's so much detail to every little bit. It's challenging, but it's such a cool challenge, and if you pull it off, it's the most incredible feeling in the world.
It's like any other game you could really cosplay. Like, it's so different from anything else.
Yeah. It's impossible to cosplay a Borderlands character and to have someone not recognize that it's a Borderlands character, even if they don't know who the character is. It's amazing. Yeah,
I think we're gonna have to have Lucky and Grim back on at some point.
I would love that. They cosplayed the twins at the reveal event.
I saw them. I saw that.
Yeah. They're awesome.
I believe they also did it at E3 as well.
Did they really? Oh, cool.
I believe so. Yeah, because
Very
E3 would have been coming up very soon, and they were reminiscing. I think it was Lucky or Grim's birthday very recently, and they were talking about how they got to do cool things like cosplaying the twins at E3. So yeah, they were a blast to talk with, and I hope we get to have them on again real soon.
Lucky Bones, Bonez, and Grim Bones, Grimm Bones. You can find them on Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, all the good places.
Yes, and they are just lovely human beings to talk to. So yeah, we should probably have a conversation about it. Rose, by the way, just for the image for everybody at home real quick, she's got that whole cowgirl ensemble, nice cowgirl hat, and she has a flower tattoo on her arm that has spikes out of it. Kind of looks like a rose, honestly. I wonder if that's actually a tattoo, or maybe it's some sort of plant injection that she has.
I haven't thought of that, but
that'd be cool.
It reminded me a little bit of DLC 5, because DLC 5 mixed a lot of like organic plant life with humanity. So you never know. Or it could just be body mods. Maybe it's something people do. Sure.
Yeah.
Into town. The world of Gehenna in and of itself is beautiful. So you're going to find a wide variety of inspirations that we had creating this DLC from Westerns all over. I wanted to think of the town as a character in and of itself. For instance, you free a prisoner early on in the story, and that prisoner happens to be a musician that writes a song about the Vault Hunter. So he goes back to the saloon and he starts playing a song. So you can go in the saloon and he's starting to sing a song about the mission you just completed. But every plot mission that you complete, he updates the song. So eventually you have this entire song written about what the player has done. There's lots of examples, but storefronts will be kind of dilapidated a little bit, but then reopen depending on what you do in side missions or challenges. NPCs that come back to town their roles will change depending on choices that you made, like a choice that you made in a side mission.
This ish is wild.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You make decisions in Borderlands now that matter. And it goes beyond just choosing whether or not Reese should have a mustache.
That was life-changing, but this is...
it was kind of life-changing. And the impact of that one decision was felt far and wide across the lands. And now we get to make more choices. Oh my God, I'm
so
nervous,
excited.
Yeah.
Like, am I going to make the right choice? Is it going to be bad? Don't know.
Which means that your town will look different if you make different choices than somebody else's town.
That's
Maybe
so
not
crazy.
like a comprehensive change. Yeah, it might not be a comprehensive change, but it might be an NPC in a different location who might have a different role. Like
it seems like a little bit of Telltales is just like a little bit in there, just placed on the side.
Yeah, that's neat. That's really neat.
Oh, yeah. Bickford in the Twitch chat right now pointing out, let's not forget about Claptrap's antenna. That was a big deal.
Yes, that's true. That was. True. Oh my God, I agonized over that. I agonized over that multiple times on multiple different playthroughs with different characters. You can, but like, I felt like I had to choose the one that he would wear for the rest of time, that first time. And it took me like forever to decide. And then when I changed my mind, I had to start another character and do it all over again.
No, I can't.
Is that for real?
He had that kind of personality.
Well,
now he's
other
different.
Reasons, but yeah.
It's fair. Oh my goodness.
By the end of the DLC, you feel like that you're the hero, that you made the change.
And then the final thing that you mentioned earlier that we haven't gotten back to is these interactive objects.
Oh, yeah.
What is that all about? And I'm assuming that's more world building, like you're saying. It's a different kind of environment.
We love the combat loop of Borderlands, but we also wanted to create new gameplay objects that you find in the world that you unlock by doing certain missions. So we have something called a trader weed, which turns enemies to your side for a certain amount of time. Eventually, you'll find a core exploder. Core exploder shotguns out like high damage shrapnel when you melee it. And then there's a breezer that when you step on it, it's a plant that soars you into the air. And we even have something called a telezapper that is essentially a teleporter. So we wanted to...
My mind.
Yeah. I saw this because I was watching the Borderlands show, but I totally didn't. I think there was so much that was downloaded into my brain all at once that I missed these details. And watching it now, it's blowing my mind, completely blowing my mind. So cool.
Like you have explosions and jumping and floating and teleporting. What more could you ask for? It's so good.
So cool.
They're putting in a lot of cool environmental effects, and now that we mention it, the jumping and floating. When you said that, Tweety, you know what it reminded me of? Half-Life, because everything does.
Yeah.
Just because there were little jump pads in that game, and it opens up new possibilities for us to take the game to a new level of verticality that we haven't really seen, and that's exciting. That's actually really, really exciting.
Yeah, I think it brings back a little bit of what we had in the pre-sequel, which does exist already in Borderlands 3 in small doses, like in Skywell and in a part of the Handsome Jackpot, the low grab spaces, which I personally love. I loved that about the pre-sequel. The pre-sequel, which you haven't played yet, Tweety.
Nope,
so
I still need to do them.
If you like the low grab sections that already exist in Borderlands 3, you will love the pre-sequel overall because there's a lot more of that. I think at the time when it launched, people weren't used to it because it was kind of a new concept. What didn't exist in a lot of other games yet at all. And so people were a little bit thrown by it. But I think it was done so well. Borderlands was one of the first... Gearbox was one of the first developers to actually do that. And they did a really good job, in my opinion. And it's so fun. And you just get to float around and do all sorts of crazy stuff. And I love that they brought it back. And I love that they are kind of iterating on that, but in an even more new, inventive way with these plant jumps. That looks so cool.
Just like the movement in Borderlands is so smooth. And then you're adding all these and it's like even better.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God.
And they were going to keep it smooth too. That's what's really exciting because sometimes games can include all these different features and then it gets really janky.
Yeah.
No.
For sure. That happening. Yeah.
No.
toss these new gameplay objects into the Borderlands mix, and maybe you can find some secrets with a combination of these objects. But we definitely have new enemies as well. Yeah, we have Devil Riders using gyrocopters. They're called Volters, so it's a new flying enemy. We have an incredibly weird creature called a Bellic that you'll come across that's brand new to.
So cool.
I love it.
So cool.
It kind of looks like a cross between the crystalline monsters from Borderlands 2 and Kiri from Monster Hunter. I love the aesthetic of it. Yeah. It's just a really cool looking animal. Yeah. And I can't wait to probably get murdered by it several times.
Probably.
Because that thing looks tough as heck. It's got
like
a Parasaurolophus horn to it too. Yeah.
Yeah, true. It's just chilling over there eating something, and then it's just gonna charge at you.
Yeah, it's like an angry goat. That's what it is. It's an angry crystalline goat.
It's
an angry space goat.
Oh,
angry space goat. Oh my goodness.
I love it.
Exactly.
Oh.
To Borderlands, as well as of course the Devil Riders riding the experimented on saurians.
They're actually riding dinosaurs.
Dino Riders, if you will.
Matt, most important question.
Yeah.
When does Bounty of Blood come out?
Bounty of Blood will be out on June 25th.
Oh, yes, around the corner, Fran.
So soon.
Very soon.
I know you just talked about Bounty of Blood. You just revealed DLC 3. I still got to know, what about DLC 4? What have you done for me lately? All right, sure, this one's coming June, not that far, a whole bunch of content. What about beyond that?
I can't tell you any specifics about DLC 4 right now, but I know we did bring an image, so we can show everybody this image.
Oh.
Boom. This image is wild. For the listeners at home, it is a juxtaposed blue on the left side and pink and yellow on the right side. It almost is pretty clearly Krieg. Like, he's sporting a slightly new mask, but everybody's pretty sure that that's Krieg. And I can't tell for sure. But yeah, it's probably him. And it's got like on one side it looks a little bit more peaceful and serene, and on the other side there's cars and trees flying all over the place.
Explosions. Things are going wrong.
Like explosions, and it's like I feel really cool. Like good about this idea of what they're trying to do here. Is this like the fractured mind of Krieg that we're going in? What's the plan?
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
And
they promised us lots of color, which I love. I love the way Borderlands does color. Yes. Right? So cool. Oh my
color pops.
Yeah, it's a very striking image, and if you haven't had a chance to check it out, I highly recommend that you do.
Beautiful too.
Yeah. What did you Tweety, what did you think of the colors in the latest DLC? So, like, I don't know if you've ever played Bloodborne. It's a totally different Souls game, but it's very Lovecraftian and dark and beautiful. It's a Dark Souls game, to be expected. But to me, the entire world of the Guns, Love, and Tentacles DLC is like Bloodborne Lovecraftian beautifulness with color, like so much poppy color.
It has the like the pop of color of like the tentacles wrapping around you. You're just enclosed in this like kind of darker kind of scene, and then if you look around, it's just color, and it's a good contrast between the two, and it's so good.
It's so awesome. I loved it. I loved the library also that looked so cyberpunk-y.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So cool. All those purples mixed with the like pale blues and like whites and everything. Yeah, you can kind of tell it's my favorite color. Probably. So cool. I'm so excited because every single DLC brings new visual like eye candy and audible eye candy or audible ear candy. That sounds weird. I mean, with the music, but definitely just so excited for this last one because they could go in any direction.
Oh my gosh. Krieg's mind is so crazy. You could go in whatever way. You're going to go with the more peaceful side or the crazy side. I'm excited.
Maybe what they'll do, this is actually a visual representation of what that's going to be like. I really like what you said there. When I was growing up, there was a place called Wonder Camp, and they had two sides. There was one side that was completely themed purple and green, and it was a lot like Discovery Zone of places you could climb around in like tubes and ball pits and stuff like that. And there was another side that was red and yellow. So when you said that, the first thing that came to my mind was, what if part of Krieg's mind, like the more violent areas, have more of this, looking at this one image here, just extrapolating and taking a wild guess here. One side is red and yellow, and that's where the violence and craziness is going on. And then the other side that's more peaceful and, calmer as a result of maybe your actions turns to this more blue, green, has that more chill pastel vibe to it because you physically actually helped put Krieg's mind at ease.
So then it eventually gets rid of the disturbance and makes it more calm.
Yeah. I mean, look at Tiny Tina's DLC. When you beat Tiny Tina's DLC, all those clouds go away and everywhere that you go is happy sunshine and rainbows again.
Yeah.
There's a precedent for it.
True.
So,
interesting. Interesting.
I like that. Yeah.
Got a psycho, got some blue, you got some pink going on, a car.
Colors. We promise colors.
You promise colors. That's as much as we're going to get out of you. That's as much you're saying there's colors in this.
There will be gameplay,
colors,
and visuals.
Thanks for watching the Borderlands show, everybody. Hit us up with your questions at kindafunny.com/Borderlands to be part of the show. Make sure you're following Borderlands on all of the old social medias there.
Please.
Of course, follow them on twitch.tv/Borderlands to watch the shows we do it live. Subscribe to youtube.com/Borderlands game to catch it later on demand. There's now an audio podcast feed, so you can go to your favorite audio podcast service, subscribe to the
They're
Borderlands
all linked
feed.
below the video that you guys are watching right now on Twitch also. So if you're watching the channel on Twitch, you can just scroll down and click on the images for each individual show, and that will take you to the playlist. Or if you want to find us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Music, TuneIn, Stitcher. I feel like I'm forgetting one.
All the places. I felt like Greg, and we can probably end the video here. This was like Greg just kind of doing our job at the end of the show for us. Still do anyway. But he's like, yeah, go check out all these cool things. I'm like, oh, yay! I was gonna say that later, but that works. Okay, cool. So that was really neat. It was a great show. I really enjoyed talking with everybody about it. I'm glad that we got a chance to talk about it as well here. One other thing that was not in the supercut that I just wanted to bring up real quick is there was a mailbag segment. And instead of doing a traditional mailbag, we opted to interview Matt a little bit more about the development process at Gearbox. And he told us that, they give him a lot of creative leeway to kind of like implement his ideas. And they're very receptive to the feedback that he gives when they're trying to get certain things done. And I was really happy to hear that they give their developers not a blank check per se, but enough room to express themselves in the ways that now we get to appreciate. So that was really cool to see. And he also told us of a secret trick that he hid, because he was a lead boss designer in the game as well, in the Tyrene fight that was inspired by The Legend of Zelda, where you can actually melee the iridium spikes in phase 3 of the fight back at Tyrene to stun her. And I did not know that. And I don't
no idea.
I don't think anybody knew that until it was said.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
Gonna have to go and try it.
Yeah. And so that was pretty crazy. The Rampager is not named that for any silly reason. Matt actually had to fight for that to stay as its name, as it is a reference to Rampage, the classic NES, N64, and arcade game where you play as a giant ape, lizard, or wolf, hence the Rampager's 3 phases, where in that game you climb up walls and like breathe fire if you get like radioactive stuff. It is a really cool game where you can fly around. So that was a really cool reference that I don't know how many people got, but I did not catch that one either. I'm ashamed to say. So.
Yeah.
And there was also a shift key that Matt actually delivered, which was really nice as well, which if you are watching live, we will be able to spam in the chat for you to enjoy as you would like. If not, I encourage you, of course, to go and check out the Borderlands show, either the supercut or the full show itself, so you can get that and see it and enjoy it and use that golden key, because Matt worked really hard to present it, so use it.
Do it. It's free stuff. Why not?
Awesome. Yeah.
Yes, they are. Borderlands has been doing so well. It really has. 10 million units, over 10 million units, I should say, as first reported in gamesindustry.biz, and the sentiment echoed by Randy Pitchford on Twitter. Borderlands 3 has now reached over 10 million units sold in Q4 of the previous fiscal year, which runs from October to December, and had a 50% increase over Borderlands 2. Monthly active users for Borderlands 3 also rose in Q4, and the largest influx of new players came via March, which I would say was probably in very large part due to the release of the game on Steam.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Awesome.
Game's
Keep
doing
bringing
really well.
more people into Borderlands. We'll take you.
Yeah.
We'll bring you through.
There's such a good community on Twitch. Tweety and Mitsu and myself and all of our teammates, Eddie Monster and Jolts and K6 and Damn It to Hell. And there's so many good streamers. There's a ton of them out there just besides us. Streaming this game, playing it with their communities, teaching new people about new stuff. Absolutely, absolutely worth checking out. Honestly, every single person in the directory. Everybody's really cool. Everybody's really welcoming. Twitch is actually currently doing a Prime loot drop, which we're going to show you right now. So there's some items you can get, a weapon trinket and 3 golden keys, Steam Deck Echo skin and 3 golden keys, Super Streamer shotgun, and guess what? 3 golden keys. The role player head skins for all 4 characters. They're kind of like dice heads with little wings. And yeah, you guessed it, 3 golden keys. So there are 4 drops currently available that you can grab if you connect your Twitch account to your Amazon Prime account and claim your loot.
I believe that's around for a limited time, so make sure that you are doing so and getting those claimed accordingly very soon, because they will go away, and I do not believe they will be brought back. So if you want them, and that's 12 golden keys on top of all the cool cosmetics, which are purple themed, which is the best color. So you want to get in on them as soon as you can. Yeah. So before we wrap up, there's one other thing that I wanted to talk about. We hear every now and again members of the content creation team and members of the community. We've had the pleasure of receiving things from time to time from our wonderful partners at 2K and Gearbox. And they outdid themselves this time to an immense degree and sent members of the 2K affiliate program, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and other prominent community members, streamers, content creators. They sent them amazing, crazy goodies involving the Borderlands Legendary Collection, which is coming out, as we've talked about, on May 29th.
This Friday.
Yeah.
So soon!
Just to briefly talk about the history real quick. Many years ago when I started streaming, developers and publishers, everybody around the industry didn't quite know how to handle influencers at that point. It's a new space. They weren't sure where we would really fit in the grand scheme of, how to be a boon and a benefit to be able to play video games and share in that joy of the creative process, whether it be just to play those games and expand on them, or, providing creative feedback or being community representatives, whatever it is that a developer or a publisher sees and wants to utilize this for. And over the past couple of years, 2K and Gearbox have stepped up in an immense way, and the love that they've shown us and the love that they've shown the community has been immense. So beyond anything that I've ever seen from where we were 7 years ago. And it speaks to how far we have come as an industry and as a community. And I cannot express my gratitude enough. And that's from one package. That's the feelings that it brings up in me when we get these cool things.
It is a really
it means so much.
Awesome package.
Yeah.
That's all the stuff that's in it. It's really, really, really cool.
Same.
It's a very comprehensive package. It includes Borderlands decals for your Switch. They included a ton of other goodies pertaining to Borderlands and other games that 2K publishes. It's overwhelming. When I opened that box, it was overwhelming.
You're like, there's more. You just keep opening boxes and there's just more and more.
Yeah.
It's the sentiment behind it that really, really, really speaks to me as a streamer.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I feel like over the last year working with 2K and Gearbox, I've just been so supported, as a team member, as a Borderlands content creator. I absolutely feel like Gearbox and 2K are behind us and as a community and are trying to help us succeed and help us grow and help us continue to be able to stream Borderlands because we love it and they love seeing us play it, and we all love this game. And our ability to exist in the Borderlands long term is dependent on so many things. Of course, the community and viewership and all that stuff, but each other and how much we support each other and how much the developer and publisher work with us. And I think we're so lucky to have had the opportunity to work with them for this, first launch year so far. And I'm so looking forward to what's coming next.
Yes.
The new content creator team that's happening. Starting very, very soon, and just working with all of the content creators that have been kind of developing their communities in the Borderlands category. There's a ton of them. Tweety is one of them. What do you think about all this, Tweety?
It's just, we all are Borderlands from Borderlands 2. From when I just went into it, I felt so loved. Like, first couple streams I was getting rated by, I was like, who's this Killer 6 person? I had no idea. And then I just felt so loved. It's just like everyone came from all the places just to kind of come together with the backing of this game. And then it transferred to Borderlands 3. Like, I'm like, when Borderlands 3 came out, I'm like, are we still going to be as close? And it is even closer. And there's so many more people that I've been able to meet. It's just been a great time. I wouldn't want to be part of anything else, because it's just like, this is so special. And I don't think it really exists anywhere else on like a different game, and not as close knit as like everyone else is. And it's just like, you meet so many new people. It's so good.
And it's so positive.
Oh yeah. It's not like toxicity or anything like that. It's just,
people are just
everybody
kind
wants
to
help
each
each other.
Yeah, everybody wants to play together and help each other. And like, if you, because this has happened to me, if you are like frustrated with any particular thing that you're doing, you're not necessarily getting that one sweet drop that you really, really, really want, and somebody has the thing, they will literally, like, 10 people will offer to give you the thing. And you don't have to be streaming the game. You could just be in a chat, like hanging out as part of a community. And the streamer could be farming for something. And you'd be like, I have been farming for this for so long too, and I can't seem to get it. And there'll be like 5 people that speak up in chat. Hey, I have one. You want it? It's amazing.
Like, oh, you want to go do bosses together? Like,
or just they'll help you get it. Absolutely.
Literally anything.
Yeah, it's so cool.
It's like the old days. That's what when I would run G and Pyro Pete and all that stuff, I would open up my lobbies and you'd have so many amazing people jump in and be like, oh, you need a big boom blaster and a quasar so you could drag G around and get him in the puddles so we can do him right. Cool. Boom, boom. All right, put on the K-pop. Let's go.
Let's
go. It was so much fun. And so in the future, there's always potentials to hopefully maybe, we have this team. And how do you feel about the team? And if it did expand, what would you like to see happen with it? Tweety?
I would definitely want to see where it goes and what else we could do together, because we all have so much influence with like how this, like, Gearbox and 2K listens, which is better than most companies. Like, they know what we want, and they also know what's better for their game as well. Like, something that we may say may not be best of where they want to go. And we can tell with these developer updates, we see where it's going and we can see the potential it has, and it's absolutely amazing. So I'm excited to see like where we all can go together and how we all face all the same kind of content on our own, and how we all just play the game differently. It's nice to see all this difference, even though we're all using the same kind of content.
If the roster expanded, would you want to be on it?
Oh yeah, of course.
Cool. It's just a fun idea, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. Why not connect with more fun people, Yeah,
definitely. I'm so excited for what the future holds for all of us.
Oh, so excited.
So with all of that in mind, and boy, once again, we're running way over. Who could have foreseen such a thing with this show? Revenge of the Cartels ends June 4th. So get your OPQs and your yellow cakes out as fast as you possibly can, because you're not going to want to miss out on them just in case. Borderlands The Legendary Collection releases May 29th. That's this coming Friday. And Guardian Takedown next week, June 4th. Promise you're going to want to play it. Tweety Expert, where can they find you?
I'm a Tweety Expert on Twitch, Twitter, all the things. That's just my name. Tweety Expert.
Right there. It'll also be in the description of our audio episode. You guys can catch us now if you would like to on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, and TuneIn, and Google Music, all the things. We have a separate playlist now on SoundCloud for the Borderlands show, the Bordercast, of course, and Ultimate Vault Hunter, which will be live again for you guys, or broadcast again for you guys next Thursday. Not this coming Thursday, but the following. And thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and like if you enjoy the show. That helps us out immensely. Make sure you set up those notifications for all the other platforms. You can always find the Bordercast here on Twitch every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern or 1 p.m. Pacific. Thank you guys so much for hanging out.
Indeed, Tweety, thank you so much for joining. It was an absolute pleasure to get to know you and have a conversation with you about everything. We look forward to having you back on very, very soon.
It was absolutely incredible. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. And on behalf of Tess, myself, and the entire stream team, thank you so much for joining us, as you do every single week. Now go forth and make some mayhem.